Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And today on the blog, we're featuring Prelude Prep, which is an amazing school on the south side of San Antonio. And so to talk to us about Prelude Prep, let me introduce our guest. In the middle of the screen is Lauren Lewis, and she's the founder and superintendent of Prelude Prep. And on the opposite side of the screen for me is Laura Rangel, and she's the principal of Prelude Prep. So thank you, Lauren and Laura, for joining me on Charter Moms Chats.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Inga.
Yeah, but I want to let everyone know if you either click on the link in the description of the video, that takes you to the updated enrollment guide blog post, or if you also go to schartermoms.com, it's at the top of the blog today. But so for folks who aren't familiar with Prelude Prep yet, can you kind of draw the big picture, like what's the mission and vision of Prelude Prep?
Sure. So Prelude actually means the introduction or the beginning. And so we wanted Prelude to be the strong foundation for our students for both academic and personal success. So by the time they leave us, when they've graduated from 8th grade, they can go to any high school of their choice for whatever their passion is, be successful there, have all the prerequisites that they would need to be successful for what they want to do in high school and then ultimately in life. And so we are all about building a strong foundation for our students, both academically, but as well as socially and emotionally, and just making sure that we have students who become leaders that can impact their communities in positive ways.
That's great. Laura, did you want to add anything, or I have my next question all queued up ready. I wanted to ask you all about academics, because I know from having visited the campus, something you guys really take pride in is, how you make sure that students are getting that strong foundation in the core subjects like reading, writing, and math, and how the classrooms are set up and how the teachers are trained, what curriculum you guys use. So how does Prelude Prep provide that strong academic foundation?
So I think one of the most important things is that we know students need really well-rounded education, and there are so many times that schools can become so test prep centric that only students only get reading or math. And so we make sure that students have every subject all the time because that's important. But we do make sure that we have a strong, solid foundation in our reading and our literacy and phonics programs, making sure our students understand math conceptually so they can work on problem solving. We did switch our reading curriculum this year because we felt like we needed a more rigorous curriculum. So we're using expeditionary learning, and we love it because in our youngest grades, K through 2, our students have a core comprehension, it's knowledge building, they have a skills block, and then they have a learning lab. And so kindergartens was really cool because their first unit was toys and play. And so at the end, they had a great project on which toys they like to play with, what their friends like to play with, what they preferred. And so across the board, the students are really getting both academic, rigorous instruction, but they're also able to incorporate some project-based learning in there. And so we're really excited for our students. And then along with that, we know our kids are kids and they need to play. And they have 2 recesses every day because they need to get out and they need to run. And they have center time where they can play in the play kitchen or with the blocks or Barbies or board games. A lot of our older kids really love board games with each other or card games. Like people were playing Uno the other day ago. And so we make sure that our kids have time to be kids, but they can socialize with each other. That's where they work out some of their peer conflicts, or that's where they have some of their peer conflicts, when we have to share a toy or we have to learn how to initiate play with somebody. And so we are really excited to kind of mold that all together. So we're not just solely academic or solely social emotional. We combine it. So I think we're still fairly new. We're getting some positive results. We were listed as a bright spot on the City Education's Partners most recent report. And so we're looking forward from just growing from there and continuing to build a foundation that we've started.
Yeah. Okay, Lauren, that was such a rich set of information. I'm gonna try to echo back some things that you said that I thought are especially important. I hope our listeners will key onto. So you mentioned about the reading curriculum and that there's even sort of a project-based element to that. So I think that that's great because I know from visiting the campus, like, and you talked about how much the kids do get, they get to play. That I remember that like in the areas with centers, like the materials change out regularly, so that kids can experiment with new materials, and whether that's like dramatic play and they're doing dress up and and you mentioned so yeah, every year there's bigger kids, right, as you guys build out to K through 8. Um, and I had not seen things like the board games or the card games, but I know as a mom that games like that are really important for like the turn taking and like social interaction. Like how you keep a game going is by like everyone has to learn to be fair, even if some players are stronger or not as proficient in the game. So it's not just academic knowledge that's going to help kids succeed, but also those interpersonal skills, and they're having fun. But you mentioned about that it's not just the things that get tested on like reading, writing, and math, but you also want kids to have be building knowledge, right? So the stuff they're reading, it's also building up their knowledge, like they're learning science and history and other subjects, and that all that knowledge helps them be better readers as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so those are, oh, and yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned about the City Education Partners report that Prelude Prep showed up as a bright spot. So serving students who come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, but showing that they can still have growth and achievement on standardized tests. I think that's great news.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to be sure and ask about the culture at Prelude Prep, and I want to encourage everybody go and do a school tour and go and visit and see for yourselves. But we're going to do the best we can on the video format to through storytelling, like to give people an idea of what the school culture is like at Prelude Prep.
You want to talk about the culture? Sure. I think that what we're trying to do is help students become independent and be able to set goals and know they can achieve things. And I think what was exciting was the other day ago, we were visiting classrooms. We were invited to a project celebration. And we heard students, they were asked, what was your challenge? And first graders said, well, we had a challenge collaborating because we couldn't decide which project we wanted to do, or, so-and-so wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. And so they were able to talk about that amongst themselves after they had worked through it and acknowledged those things. And I think that's part of both our academic culture and just our social emotional, that they're learning to work through those things and then be able to talk about it and celebrate at the end. Like, yeah, we struggled to make this and we had our challenges, but at the end, this is our project and we're able to present it. And I think that really summarizes our culture really well. That we just want students to take pride in what they're doing and be learners and be excited about learning and then be able to talk about it. So I think that was a really great moment to see the other day ago, of just having first graders be that honest and say, yeah, but at the end we persevered. So learning those words as well.
Yeah. Oh, Lauren, do you want to share a story as well?
Yeah, no, I was going
Laura.
to that. We've been invited to not just first grade, but to all grade levels, and seeing their presentations, or even if it's not a presentation, just hearing them talk about it when when they're discussing it amongst their peers, or when they're sharing it with their teacher. And so just hearing those conversations that the students are presenting and the pride that they're taking in it, it has just been really exciting and something great that we're seeing this year.
Yeah, well, I want to just to echo what Lauren was saying about like amazing for first graders to have that much insight and reflection on their process. And I strongly agree that independence is a really important goal, and that sometimes I guess it can seem like a shortcut to getting good results to just have a very structured environment and a lot of repetition and things. But in terms of like the kids being able to keep growing and keep progressing, and you said Prelude is meant to lay a foundation so that wherever they go to high school, they can succeed. Whatever they want to do in life, they can succeed. And having, because yeah, kids, they are going to have those challenges of like trying to all agree on something or trying to work out a project. And, but better that they start, sort of struggling with those things at a young age and learning skills to overcome it, rather than being in a very super structured, sheltered kind of environment where it's like, well, look at we're getting these great results, but then when you give them an unfamiliar problem, they don't know how to address it. So, but the kids from Prelude, they'll be more resilient.
Well, and I'll add that in order to get that level of independence we're looking for, and we're still building up to it, is there has to be an underlying structure there that's consistent, that the kids don't really know is there, but it's not like it's like a planned secret structure that sets kids up for success and gives them the pathway that they need to be successful in order to be able to become more independent. But when pre-K walks through the door, they take off their backpack, they unpack, they put their snack away, they put their folder up, they are starting from day one on being independent. Where do my toys go? Where does my folder go? And they're really navigating that on their own. How do I learn to open up my milk? Yes, it's way easier for us to just go and open it, but teaching those skills from the beginning really helps them build that as they grow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's great. I appreciate that story, like to demonstrate the culture at Prelude Prep. So the next thing I want to ask about is, so we've talked about like core subjects like reading, writing, and math, and like building knowledge. But I know that you guys cover other subjects as well because you want kids to be well-rounded. So how do you include things like art and music, science, like some of the outdoor play? Like how do kids get to experience that?
Yeah, so our students go to a specialized science class K through 5th right now, every single day. And so they love it. Every day they're doing new things, they're learning new things. I wish you could be in their classroom right now to see some of the great things that they have up on the wall that they did themselves, that the teachers are initiating. But just seeing the projects that they're doing, the hands-on experiments that are happening every day in that science class. And then also in our music class, the kids go to music, and I wish I had the abilities of our music teacher, because as a kid, I want to go in there and just play every single instrument. But they are going in there, they're learning music, they're playing songs, they're learning the rhythms. And so just seeing the excitement of the kids learning how to play, and then they present it to the parents and families at Showcase during either the spring or the fall. And so seeing that all the time, and every week new art projects are put up in the main hallway. And Lauren and I get to put little prizes on what we think may be some of the special highlights from the week. And so the kids look forward to seeing the principal's awards or any awards that are placed on their art pieces. And so like Lauren has shared, we have some really strong, rigorous academics, but we also acknowledge that there are other pieces to their day that make them special. And so having the specialized science, having the art, having music, having that playtime, having classroom playtime is so important that it makes a kids well-rounded versus just strictly academic focus and all of those great things. And so we really enjoy seeing the kids wherever they are, whether they're in a classroom, a science room, art room, music room, because all day long they're learning great things.
Yeah, yeah. And those experiences, it reinforces like kids wanting to be at school, and attendance is really important. That was something that came up in the State Education Partners report, is that there is an attendance problem across San Antonio, but kids have to be on campus if they're enrolled in school and they're not homeschooling, then they need to be on campus to experience those things. And the more kids, they may not want to go to school to do reading, but they very likely want to go to school so they can participate in music class and do the science experiments and things like that.
Play that game in PE, like those are the things they look forward to.
Yeah, that's great. So Laura, you mentioned that Science Daily, it's in K through 5th, and that's a good lead in for because next year you guys are going to have 6th grade, right? And this will be the first foray into middle school and the upper prep curriculum. So, and the enrollment guide and y'all's website explains, like, you do a great job explaining like how the curriculum is different for different age groups, like pre-K or early prep. But what will the upper prep curriculum be like? I know it's probably still on the drawing board because it won't start until next August, but what are you anticipating?
Yeah, no, so we are still planning, in the planning phases, but all of this has been leading up. We're so excited that we have our first 5th grade class, and now we're moving into 6th grade. And so we've been just really thrilled with that. But for our curriculum, we want to continue on the path with our strong, rigorous curriculum and making sure that the kids are able to learn and be independent and think for themselves, but at the same time be set up for success to go to any high school they want to. There should be no limit to what they can do. And so, that's always been our focus, and it's part of our mission and vision from the beginning. And so we're really trying to stick to that, learning what is best for the kids and what is really going to help them be set up for success. And also at the same time, what are the best electives that they're going to really enjoy, and all of those other pieces that make up their day, just so it's a special day for them, but at the same time, they're going to be learning and successful.
And we keep telling them they're the leaders of the campus. They'll be our first graduating class in 8th grade. And so we are, our early childhood program looks very different than our middle grade programs. And our goal is to have our middle school program be the leaders of our school and to have a different feel. So hopefully all of the independence that they've learned along the way can really play into giving them more freedoms and responsibility when they're in middle school. And so definitely moving into a departmentalized model for them and advanced classes and looking at the electives and sports and all of those things that come along with middle school. But we're really excited. That grade level has been the school leaders every year they've been here. And so it'll be exciting to see them move into the next level.
Yeah, well, and speaking of, because this year's 5th graders being the school leaders, and there is a civics education portion, right, that you've incorporated all along. So does that kind of play into what you want the middle schoolers to be aware of?
Mm-hmm. So I think what we're really trying to do is build also leadership capacity and give students opportunities to be involved on the campus. So our safety patrols are so excited to be starting their new roles and who's an officer and how can they help. And so as we grow, taking on more of those roles in a more adult way is what we have planned for our students, because they really do like taking on leadership roles and actively helping within our community. And we've seen the excitement for that already. So, I've always worked in a pre-K through 8th grade school. And while I love our middle school students because they're so much older and you can have fun conversations with them, and then sometimes they do middle school behaviors, I'm excited to see them grow. And I know what wonderful things come when you have 8th graders that you can pair up with kindergartners and just build those across school relationships. So we're excited to see that start to be able to take shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you talked about like roles they can take, like safety patrol, and that made me think about what you were talking about earlier about building independence in students, and that it does come from sort of an underlying structure that they may not be aware of, but because you're envisioning these different roles for them, and then they get these new opportunities to stretch themselves, then you can bring out the best in middle schoolers, right? And hopefully less of the middle school behaviors. That talking about middle schoolers, it also got me thinking about you've had to make changes to the campus over the years as this number of students have grown, right? And I encourage folks go on a school tour and you'll see it was a private school campus, right? It was part of the Archdiocese, but you guys it's sort of this mid-century modern look, but you guys have been adding more learning spaces and added a driveway and all kinds of things. So but what's happening on the campus, and what changes do you foresee coming?
Yeah, so one of the big things, Inga, since you've been here, we opened up our brand new building. We expanded 12 new classrooms, and so we're really excited about that. Our upper grade students really love being in here now, and so we'll also enjoy middle school. But also just the look and the feel sometimes of the campus has changed so much, with the addition of the new buildings, the layout and the way we have transitioned some of the classes, and just the expansion of our security, putting up more cameras and more safety features and those kinds of things. But it seems like every year something has changed or is different, and it's probably going to continue to be that way as we're growing and expanding. We have 7 acres of land, and so we have plenty of room to continue growing over the years. But it's just amazing to see how much growth we've made just in this short time.
Yeah. Well, that's remarkable. Okay, I need to come up with an excuse to come see the campus again, because I have not seen the new building. So, but that's great, because more kids, bigger kids, they need some elbow room there. Yeah. So, before we close out, I want to make sure we talk about enrollment and how families can connect. But are there any other stories or anecdotes, things you've seen on campus, great student artwork?
We have automatic lights. Give me 1 second. I will just
you guys have been so still on camera.
That's just part of the new building, right? So I think just some of the things that we've seen is we're expanding, and yes, we're growing with our enrollment, but at the same time, we still have that small feel. And so, we really get to know our families, our new families, our past families. And so it's great seeing them all, intertwine, and everybody wants to be so helpful, and everybody just wants to participate and be part of our community. So at all of our events, it's always a packed house. And so we just love our community, and we're just excited to continue growing and getting to know more people as they come in. But even though we are expanding, like I said, we still know every single person on campus. And so it's just that small community feel.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, I keep saying this, but feel like folks really need to come and see the campus for themselves, because we can describe it, but I think once people see it, they'll appreciate just how close knit it is, and how much pride. I mean, I remember seeing the classrooms, and the teachers take so much pride in their materials and what they put up on their walls, and it all reinforces the learning. And Lauren mentioned just how big the acreage is of the campus, so that means that there's room for outside play spaces, there's playground space, and kids really, they get to spend time outdoors as well. So those are good questions to ask when folks go on tours, right? So okay, so I want to make sure people know about how to enroll. So just want to reinforce again, we have the enrollment guide blog post on our website, but the Prelude Prep website is a great source of information. It's a very well organized website. You guys have good curriculum information. The application's easy to find. So, but what do you want to highlight about the website? What things can folks find there?
Sure. I mean, there are links to go ahead and just schedule a tour. There are options that we can have. You can say, call me, email me, text me. And parents can always call us, but they can also text us on that phone number. So we're in the age where people don't always like to make a phone call. Send us a text, we'll get it. But we're very accessible. So if you send us a message saying you want more information or you want to come visit, we'll invite you on in and hope to get to know you.
Yeah, and okay. I think with that, I'm so sorry. I think with
that. Is this the correct phone number?
Yeah.
Yes. The website. Yes, good. Okay, so for folks listening, it's 210-780-7661. Go ahead, Laura. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no, you're good. So what I was going to say is, we keep talking about the tour, but I really encourage anybody to come in, because, you can see everything on the website, you can hear it from us, but you just have to come in. And so we try to make that as easy as possible. So every day we have tours open. And so come on in, pick the time that works for you, and somebody is willing to show you around. And so you'll get to see all the great things happening.
Yeah. I think to be able to see Prelude Prep, I think is I think that's really, really important. We can talk about it, but I think to understand how positive and how close knit the culture is, just what you guys are creating is really special. I guess okay. So let me talk about some details about enrollment. So for current, are there any grades with open seats currently?
We have room in.
Okay. So there's a few seats. So if folks are wanting to make a change in the current school year, they can call, they can tour. And so the current grade levels, it's pre-K through 5th, but this is exciting. So next year in 2025-26, you guys will expand to 6th grade, right? Okay. And then, so you're currently enrolling for the current school year, but November 1st, that's when the application opens for the upcoming school year, right? So November 1st through February 17th. So folks have a chance to get in before the lottery for the upcoming school year.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, and you guys mentioned that folks can call or text the number. They can set up a school tour. That's a great way for folks to gather information. Oh, and you guys are going to be at School Discovery Days, right? So we've got that's coming up on Saturday, and then we've got another one in January, another one in March. So I'm really grateful that you guys are part of School Discovery. You guys get to meet more family that way.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, was there any closing thoughts? I think we've covered everything I wanted to say. I hope folks are curious and that they want to set up a school tour and get an application in.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to share Prelude with more people, and we're very thankful, Inga, because you have been with us as we were just an idea to being an open school. So we appreciate it. We appreciate your School Discovery Days, and that we're very excited to participate and meet more families.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, well, great. We'll keep doing good work on the South Side, taking care of the young kids at Prelude Prep, and big kids next year, because you're going to have middle schoolers.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Bye.